Once upon a time, in a far-off kingdom, there lived a beautiful princess named Snow White. She had skin as white as snow, lips as red as roses, and hair as black as ebony. Her kind heart and gentle nature made everyone love her, except for her stepmother, the queen. The queen, a vain and cruel woman, possessed a magic mirror. Every day, she would ask it, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror always replied, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." This pleased the queen, and she took great pride in being the most beautiful in the land. But one day, when the queen asked the mirror her usual question, the mirror responded differently. "You, my queen, are fair, it is true. But Snow White is now fairer than you." Consumed with jealousy, the queen's heart grew dark. She couldn't bear the thought of someone being more beautiful than her, especially her own stepdaughter. In her rage, she ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. She demanded proof of Snow White's death, telling the huntsman to bring back her heart. The huntsman, though loyal to the queen, had a kind heart. He couldn't bring himself to harm the innocent princess. So, when they reached the forest, he told Snow White of the queen's wicked plan and urged her to run far away. Instead of taking her heart, he brought back the heart of a wild animal to deceive the queen. Snow White fled into the depths of the forest, frightened and alone. As night fell, she stumbled upon a small cottage nestled among the trees. Tired and desperate for shelter, she went inside. Everything in the cottage was tiny, and there were 7 small chairs, 7 tiny beds, and 7 little plates on the table. Exhausted from her ordeal, Snow White lay down on one of the beds and quickly fell asleep. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who worked in the nearby mines. When they returned home that evening, they were surprised to find someone in their house. At first, they were cautious, but when they saw the beautiful, sleeping Snow White, their hearts softened. When Snow White awoke and explained her story, the dwarfs, feeling sympathy for her, offered her a place to stay. "Stay with us and we will protect you," they said. Snow White gratefully accepted and began living with the dwarfs, keeping their house tidy and cooking meals for them. In return, the dwarfs warned her to be cautious of her stepmother, and never to let anyone inside the cottage. Back at the castle, the queen asked her magic mirror once again, "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" To her horror, the mirror replied, "You, my queen, are fair, it is true, but Snow White, beyond the mountains with the 7 dwarfs, is 1,000 times fairer than you." Enraged, the queen realized that Snow White was still alive. She decided to take matters into her own hands. Using her dark magic, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and set out to find Snow White. She brought with her a poisoned apple, one bite of which would put Snow White into a deep, eternal sleep. Disguised as the old woman, the queen reached the dwarf's cottage and knocked on the door. Snow White, remembering the dwarf's warning, was hesitant to let her in.